Hello students, today I am going to discuss on the topic systematic drawing and description of Cleaver, particularly on U-shape and V-shape. Now let me first introduce about this topic. Prehistoric archaeology is the study of lithic and bone tools, though it has occasionally to deal with other artifacts like pottery, metal objects and other artifacts. In this module, we should discuss on the systematic drawing and description of two types of cleavers, that is U-shaped cleaver and V-shaped cleaver. Now let us discuss what is a cleaver. A cleaver is also one of the important and constantly recurring tool type of lower Paleolithic cultural phase, particularly during the level 1 tradition. As the name suggests, the tool must have been or should be used in cleaving and cutting purposes, and in this sense, it is a distant prototype of our present-day iron axe with a broad cutting edge. In fact, the term hand axe is more properly applicable to the cleaver than to the so-called hand axe itself, even though the cleaver is certainly appeared later than the hand axe, either from the antiquity of the term or the tool itself. In some sites, particularly of Olduvai Gorge, the occurrence of cleaver is contemporary with the transition from Salian to Acheulean. Now come to the procedures of drawing. For a systematic drawing, all the procedures mentioned while drawing the chopper, chopping tool and hand axes are similar to these cleavers also. Now let's come to the orientation of the given specimen. If a cleaver is supplied for drawing, the broad working edge should be placed facing upward, the surface of which possesses more number of flex curves should be considered as the dorsal surface of the given lithic tool. It should be drawn first, and the opposite surface is considered to be the ventral. It should be drawn lastly. In between the dorsal and ventral surface illustrations, the profile view of the tool should be drawn. The illustration of the cross section should be placed just below the dorsal view. Now let's come to the second point, that is the nature of presentation. The shape and the size as well as the nature of the flex curves of the three-dimensional supplied lithic tool is presented by two-dimensional line drawings using straight, somewhat curved and a more curved lines depending on the shallowness and the deepness of the flex curves. The secondary flex curves are also represented by short and thick lines. Now come to the third point, required instruments and materials. It remained the same for every lithic tool drawing in the practical room. Now let's come to the fourth point, technique of drawing. Before starting this drawing, we should measure the length of this tool. The maximum length along its axis is 10.0 2 centimeter. After measuring this, we should draw a line forming its proximal end. Then we should take the measurement like this. We should join these 2 points, forming its distal end or upper part of this upper margin of this tool. Then let's come to the procedures how to place it properly. Before starting placing it, every student should try to dissect this tool into 2 parts by using an imaginary line, and one of the halves should place parallel to this table. Let us draw a line along its axis and another along its half length. It is known as x-axis, another one is y-axis. Then we measure the height of these 4 points. Out of these 4 points, if we get 3 similar height, then we suppose that the given specimen is placed properly. And to confirm again, we have to measure the height again. Then we have to transfer it from this table to the drawing sheet. While transferring, so one of our hands should hold the set square like this, and another will hold the tool along with the model clay or plasticine and should place in this way. Then we start drawing by using the set square and pencil. While drawing this outline, we should note the important end points or starting point. End points mean if we start from here and it ends here, about the arises, then we should consider this will be the end point and this will be the starting point. If we start from here and end here, it should be starting and it should be the end points. So we should have to measure the prominent areas where the ridges are found. Now we can remove this from this drawing sheet and place it here properly. Then we can join the points. Now let us start measuring and finding out the important points. First of all, we should try to measure this one, next this one, next this one, next this one, and this one. Let us measure this one first. It measures 3 centimeter. It measures from here up to the end point. This 3 centimeter. At least 3 measurements are necessary for each desired point. In this way we can join these 2 lines. Here we find a mark of step flaking here. It should be represented by triangular-like structure. Here we find step flaking, step or resolve or control flaking here. It should be represented by triangular-like structure, and this triangular-like structure should be filled up by using straight line. Here also we find some step structure. It should be represented by some semicircular like structure. Now let us represent these flex curves by using somewhat curved line and more curved line here. It is having deep flex curves. It should be represented by more curved lines, whereas these are the shallow flex curves. This should be represented by somewhat curved lines like this. And this original pebble surface area is represented by dot. It is also known as cortex region. Now let's come to the ventral surface. As I have already mentioned that the ventral surface is represented mainly by only one flex curve, and also there is one prominent area. It is known as positive bulb operation. It should be represented by using this sign, and the curve should be started from both sides. To represent these features, we draw lines like this. To mark the prominent bulb propagation, and this faceted striking platform is represented by straight line. And this part is representing this cortex region or original pebble surface. It should be marked by these dots. And here is another secondary flex curve. It should be represented by this somewhat curved line. Now let's come to the profile. This side should come here and this side should come here. Here we have represented by using this straight line. It should be represented here again. Now we have completed about the drawing of dorsal view, profile view and ventral view. Now let us draw the cross section. We have taken the measurement here, then we try to confirm it by measuring from here whether it is okay or not. It's okay. Then we start from here and continues like this, and taking the red from here, we should take and join the points. Then let us take its cross section starting from here. We should press it and press and squeeze here once, then remove. Then we measure the thickness. Then we fill up the space by using straight lines. Then we can note down the maximum length. Now we have completed this three-dimensional given specimen in two-dimensional illustration having length and a breadth only. Now let's come how to describe a given and drawn or illustrated detect tool. First of all, we have to mention about the museum number. To understand where from this supplied specimen is procured or collected or found, excavated or explored or even housed or exhibited. Next, we should mention the raw material used for shaping or knapping this tool. The third point is about the state of preservation, whether the given specimen is changing its color or changing the ridges. We have to examine carefully. In this case, we should say the ridges become smooth after rolling and color also changing. So, it can be identified as roll and patinated. About the measurement, we have to measure the maximum length along its axis, then maximum breadth along its half length. It measures 8.6 centimeter. Then let's come to the thickness. Along its half length again, it comes 4 centimeter. Now let's come to the general description. The given specimen is a heavy flag tool. It is somewhat U-shaped in structure. Now let's come to the dorsal view. The dorsal surface is represented by a number of large flag scars and a number of secondary flag scars or retouching towards its lateral and working tip also. And some part of is represented by the original pebble surface or cortex region. This part is represented by the original pebble surface, and remaining part is represented by a number of flag scars. Now let's come to the profile view. Profile view is thick and the line of profile is continuous. This is the line of profile. It goes throughout the length of the tool. Then come to the ventral view. The ventral surface is represented mainly one primary flag scars
and some part of the striking platform is also seen, and some part of the original pebble surface also retains here, and towards the lateral side there is another signs of secondary flaking. Now let's come to the probable tool marking technique. From the shape, size and nature of the flex curves present on the specimen, the given specimen might have been produced by using Levallois technique. Then now comes to the probable tool type. From the shape, size and nature of the manufacturing technique, the given specimen is identified as U-shaped cleaver. Now let's come to the probable cultural period and chronology. Culturally, the given specimen belongs to Lower Paleolithic and culturally belongs to early Pleistocene. Now let's come to the probable function and economy. From the shape, size and nature of the working tip, the given specimen might have been used for cutting or cleaving purposes, and functionally it belongs to gathering and hunting economy.
In the laboratory of prehistoric archaeology section of anthropology, students as a part of university curriculum draw lithic and bone tools along with other objects if needed. In this module, students are instructed to draw V-shaped and U-shaped cleavers only. Before drawing the tools, students are imparted to have a full knowledge on the different types of cleaver found in different parts of India and abroad, along with probable function, economy and environmental setup. After that, they are instructed to draw the tools accurately and describe the supplied tool systematically. Thank you all for patient hearing.